This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. Pictured is Captain Samuelglenfuqua. He was a United States Navy Rear Admiral and recipient of America's highest military decoration, the Congressional Medal of Honor, for his actions in World War II during the attack on Pearl Harbor. He was born on October 15, 1899, a native of Ladonia, Missouri, and entered the United States Naval Academy in July 1919, after a year at the University of Missouri and World War I service in the Army. Following graduation and commissioning in June 1923, he served in the battleship USS Arizona, destroyer USS McDonough, and battleship USS Mississippi before receiving shore duty at San Francisco, California from 1930 to 1932. Lieutenant Fuqua served in other ships and shore stations during the mid-1930s and was commanding officer of the minesweeper USS Bittern in the Asiatic Fleet in 1937 to 1939. After service at the Naval Training Station, Great Lakes, Illinois, from 1939 to 1941, Lieutenant Commander Fuqua returned to Arizona as the ship's damage control officer and first lieutenant, and was on board her during Japan's December 7, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. Though knocked unconscious by a bomb that hit the ship's stern early in the attack, he subsequently directed firefighting and rescue efforts. After the ship's forward magazines exploded, he was her senior surviving officer and was responsible for saving her remaining crewmen. For his actions at that time, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. During most of 1942, Fuqua was an officer of the cruiser USS Tuscaloosa and was promoted to commander. From 1943 to 1944, he was assigned to duty at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, later attended the Naval War College, and was promoted to the rank of captain. Captain Fuqua was operations officer for Commander 7th Fleet from January to August 1945, helping to plan and execute several amphibious operations in the Philippines and Borneo area. Following the war, he served in other staff positions, and from 1949 to 1950 commanded the destroyer tender USS Dixie. After service as Chief of Staff of the 8th Naval District, he retired from active duty in July 1953, receiving at that time the rank of Rear Admiral on the basis of his combat awards. He died January 27, 1987, in Decatur, Georgia, and was buried at Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia. And now, this is his citation. For distinguished conduct in action, outstanding heroism, and utter disregard of his own safety above and beyond the call of duty during the attack on the fleet in Pearl Harbor by Japanese forces on December 7, 1941. Upon the commencement of the attack, Lieutenant Commander Fuqua rushed to the quarterdeck of the USS Arizona, to which he was attached, where he was stunned and knocked down by the explosion of a large bomb, which hit the quarterdeck, penetrated several decks, and started a severe fire. Upon regaining consciousness, he began to direct the fighting of the fire and the rescue of wounded and injured personnel. Almost immediately, there was a tremendous explosion forward, which made the ship appear to rise out of the water, shudder, and settle down by the new bow rapidly. The whole forward part of the ship was enveloped in flames, which were spreading rapidly, and wounded and burned men were pouring out of the ship to the quarterdeck. Despite these conditions, his harrowing experience, and severe enemy bombing and strafing at the time, Lieutenant Commander Fuqua continued to direct the fighting of fires in order to check them, while the wounded and burned could be taken from the ship, and supervised the rescue of these men in such an amazingly calm and cool manner and with such excellent judgment that it inspired everyone who saw him and undoubtedly resulted in the saving of many lives. After realizing his ship could not be saved and that he was the senior surviving officer aboard, he directed it to be abandoned, but continued to remain on the quarterdeck and directed abandoning ship and rescue of personnel until satisfied that all personnel who could be had been saved, after which he left his ship with the boatload. The conduct of Lieutenant Commander Fuqua was not only in keeping with the highest traditions of the naval service, but characterizes him as an outstanding leader of men. This is Patricia, and I am Traveling for History. Thank you for watching. Bye now.